Hey everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about tribulation because that's been on my mind lately. We've been talking about tribulation as it relates to the second coming and, the idea of a 7-year tribulation period, which I don't know if I believe in a 7-year tribulation period necessarily, but I just had a few thoughts. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video. If you end up liking it, hit the notification bell. Leave your comments and then make sure to share this on your social media. So I was thinking about how, there's this concept of tribulation in the last days, right? And I think that it's like more of a long-term tribulation. We certainly know that there's been plenty of tribulation since the days of Joseph Smith for members of the church. And I feel like right now we're entering into like an even greater stage of tribulation because there's a lot of societal pressures that are pressing on the church, and people are being put under a stress test, right? Which way are they going to go? This is like the time of like the great sifting. This is the separation of the wheat and the tares as we get ready to move forward into the millennium. And are you going to be one of those people or not? Right? Anyone that's living only a telestial law, they're not going to be moving on into the millennium. And so this is kind of like a critical time because of our proximity to that burning day, the great and dreadful day of the Lord, when there's that final separation of wheat and tares. So, I think about Elder Dale G. Renlund's talk in this last conference, October 2021, where he was talking about how there's been stress tests for the church, and he specifically named COVID as one of the main stress tests lately. And it's really we have to, like, in this life, this is just a general concept. Just living a mortal life, you're going to be put to the test, right? You're going to experience some kind of tribulation or trials, basically to reveal who you really are, what you're going to choose. Are you going to choose to take the easy path, or are you going to choose to take the hard path? The hard path is the Lord's way. It's not easy. It's not easy because you have to overcome your natural man that wants to go the easy way. The natural man lives according to the laws of this fallen world, and it is not God's way. So like whenever you do anything that's spiritual, it's basically running contrary to what your natural man wants to do. So we have trials in our life to test us, to see, what are we going to choose? Are we going to choose good, or are we going to choose evil, right? So I guess it would make sense that in the lead up to the second coming, there would probably be great tribulations to kind of finalize this chapter of the Earth's history just before the millennium. And I think, too, when I've seen an actual stress test, like there was a time when I was in welding school, and what you would do is you would take two pieces of metal, right? And then you would weld them together. And then after that, there would be a literal stress test. So you would take like one piece of metal and then another piece of metal. They call them coupons. Like when you're just using pieces of metal in welding school, they're called coupons. You put them together, right? And then you weld down the middle. So if my hands are like the two pieces of metal, you weld down the middle. And then after that, to show the teacher the quality of your weld, what you do is you cut a couple different strips out of this metal, going like this, like you cut it like that. So like the weld is right here, where the two pieces of metal are. And then you cut like one strip right here, and then you cut like another one down here. So you have two strips that you can test. And then what you do is there's like a special machine where you take what you welded, and then what happens is like it bends it all the way like this into a U shape, where the weld is like at the top of the U or at the bottom of the U, however you want to think of it. And so what that's supposed to do is It's supposed to reveal if there's any cracks that show up. You know, if your weld is incomplete, or if it has porosity, which is like little air bubbles, basically like a bunch of air bubbles, um, or other flaws. You know, there's inclusions where you have um, pieces of slag that get in there. It's supposed to just be pure metal. Okay, so you take one strip, you bend it one way, and then you take the other strip and you bend the other side so you can see both sides of the weld to see that it holds up either way that it gets bent. Um, and I think that's, you know, that's a process that we're going through right now. Um, this is a time of tribulation, and I think that the purpose of it, like I said, is to show our quality and show if we're worthy to move on into the millennium, and also if we're worthy to be in the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ, because He's going to be here, and as a part of His coming, our bodies are going to have to be changed. Like we can't just like our bodies can't be in the state that they are right now. They have to be changed. Everyone that's going to remain both celestial and terrestrial, their bodies are going to have to change in order to be in His presence. So it's just, you know, it's just one of those things. I think that there are a lot of things right now that are just so many different tests, whether it be natural disasters that are testing people, whether it be changes in society that are testing people, whether it be this pandemic and how that's changing people. And what I mean by that is how we are responding to each other, how we're treating others, because again, there's no shortage of YouTube compilations showing people freaking out about masks or about the vaccine or whatever, both in favor of and opposed to either any one of those things. So, you know, the idea is, you know, for anyone that's watching this, let's get through these tribulations and let's just pass these tests. Let's do what we know we need to do to ensure that we have a good weld, right? And the way that we do that is we stick to our covenants, and we keep the commandments, and we follow the prophet. And if you do that, you'll be good. Now, there are going to be some disasters and stuff. Like, not everyone's going to survive everything. There's already been lives claimed by the pandemic and lives claimed by all these different natural disasters and wars and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's gonna, those things are going to take some, unfortunately, but the majority of the righteous are going to be fine as they keep their covenants, follow the prophet and his advice, and they'll move forward safely into the millennium. And it's going to be a great day for the righteous. It's going to be a dreadful day for the wicked. So just do what you know you got to do. Pass these stress tests. You'll be okay. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, hit the notification bell, leave your comments and share it on your social media, and I'll talk to you guys later.